I decided to search the World Wide Web for that sentence. It is as though they were just planted there without any evolutionary history, to see how many hits I got. And I obtained no fewer than 1,250 hits for that sentence. Well, you need a control, if you're a scientist, to compare that with, otherwise you don't know what you expect to get, how many hits you'd expect to get from a sentence like that. So I looked at the very next sentence from The Blind Watchmaker, which was, evolutionists of all stripes believe, however, that this really does represent a very large gap in the fossil record. The number of hits I obtained for that, as compared to the 1,250 for the first quote, the number of hits I obtained for the second quote was 63. The ratio of 1,250 to 63 is 19.8, and I call that ratio the quote mining index. The quote mining index is also very high for the famous quote from Darwin, where he talks about the eye and says something like, to suppose that the eye, with all its, and he goes into detailed sentence about all the highly complicated ways in which eyes are adapted and adjusted and do self-focusing and self-stopping down. He says, to suppose that the eye could have been formed by numerous small incremental changes seems absurd in the highest degree. He then, of course, goes on, but that's where the quote stops. And they miss out Darwin's immediately following explanation for how actually, although it seems absurd, it's not absurd. And once again, we have a very high quote mining index. The ratio, I've done it for that too, the ratio of the number of hits for the two quotes is also very high.